Hello and welcome to ExcelDashboardTemplates.com. This is Steve equals True. Please visit my blog at ExcelDashboardTemplates.com where you're sure to learn the latest posts, tips, tricks, and techniques and learn everything about Excel. All right, today are some answers that I received for our recent Friday challenge. Have another one this Friday coming up, so please head on over there and make sure you check it out. Submit your answers and we can review them together and we can all learn. All right, today we had a user who submitted this question saying, creating a graph of cumulative events over time. Let's say these are accidents or some sort of incident that has an incident type, like you see here, A, B, C, A, B, C. And they happen on certain dates, and sometimes you can have the same incident happen multiple times on that date. What they wanted to do is, how can I create separate line graphs from the cumulative incidents of A, B, and C over time? So it's cumulative and over time. So let's go ahead and take a look. The answers that we got, first one being from Crazy Dog 64 submitted this, and this is how I went about creating my very first one of these to answer this question. What you can see is Crazy Dog 64 has created columns to do a count if you will, and maybe a sum if, I'm not quite sure, but they could have just done this manually as well and said, okay, on June 4th we had one incident of A. On July 4th we had two more incidents by adding one more when we had it above. So it's probably count if plus any count ifs above the whole range, and took that data and plotted it. So if we look at B, you'll notice B is at 0, it's at 1 for a while, and then jumps up to 2 and stays at 2. So here we've got the red number is B, it goes up to 1, stays at 1, and then kind of comes on over. Now this is how I started out creating the same concept, and I do have one issue with it that that occurred to me after I did it as well, and that's like, look at B and also look at C. Notice, and then you see they're also tiny little bit in A. The way this graphs out is it says from June 4th to June 25th, we are going from 0 to 1, and it looks like, hey, on June 18th, it looks like you had over half of an incident. That's not really the case. We were really at 0 all the way until June 25th. Then we would go up to 1. We would go over to July 4th, go up to 2, and stay flat there as well. So it's really more of a step chart look that we probably need to get. So very close. Love your submission. Thanks very much, Crazy Dog 64. Let's go take a look at another submission that we had from Magrafa. I think Magrafa was from maybe Russia. I saw .ru in your email, so thanks for the submission. I really like this chart as well. I want to do a further chart and show people how to do this. What I believe they're doing is plotting the letters out here at various numbers, and then probably doing some error bars or drop lines. I would imagine it's probably drop lines going down to a certain date. So this is a really cool way to look at the data as well. I do like it. The only issue or change that I would make is the user wanted cumulative numbers. So here we've got B, B, C, B, 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 and C. So we probably should be 1 here. B should be at 2. On this date, B should be at 5, and over here, C should be at 2, since it's cumulative over time. So, but I really like this chart. Thank you very much for submitting that. And then finally, we also had Piotr from Poland submitted this. I love this one as well. I think it's just a stacked, or I mean a column chart. And with this clustered column chart, he's reduced any gaps, made it transparent so you can see the grid lines. And so I love this. It's sort of an area step chart, right? We've got one incident, then it goes up to 2, and it stays kind of flat there as well. C went up in the beginning of July, and then went up to 2 at the end of August or middle of August. So like this, they also so when he created these in a fashion of a vertical panel chart, that's where you're stacking one chart on top of another, because it would probably be kind of muddied if you had the same data showing up within this. So Piotr from Poland, I think this is awesome. Go out and look at the show notes, and you can download this for yourself and see how he did it. Now the only exception that I would have of what the user wanted is they wanted a line graph. So this is a great step area chart, if you will, done in a vertical panel chart. So I think it's awesome. Just wasn't exactly what the client was looking for, but I do really like how it looks. Finally, wanted to kind of review what I created as my final submission. What we have here is I created a chart, and let's go ahead and redo that chart. Just highlighted this data range here, which has our cumulative values. and I am using a step chart type format. Just going to go ahead and insert that line chart, and you will see my line chart has the 3 different lines. It's doing it in a step fashion in that we're 0 until we finally have an incident, and then we're going to rise up until we have another incident. So our points are showing up appropriately, and let's go ahead and get rid of a couple of these different lines so we can take a look at just the column of B. What I've done is I've modified the chart data range with some formulas so that they can be copied down and over for the data sets that we need. We started out with our data over here on the left, and then I created a pivot table. This is the easiest way that you're going to have to find unique values, because remember, we had July 4th showed up several times, twice for A and a third time with B. And so what I did is just created a quick pivot table on that. It shows us our unique values for every single date. And then I'm going to use that to come up with my dates for my horizontal axis in this step chart. So created this formula. You can, in the show notes, I'll also put a link out there to how to create a step chart type formula, since I've already done a detailed post on that. Now what you'll notice, it has the very first date, then it has every other date being doubled up, and that creates the step function, right? So it's got on here on July 4th, it has a value of 1, and then it's going to increase to a value of 3. If we look at the B column of what you're actually looking at, that's where it's going up from 1 to 2. And so that's what's going to create that step chart feel. Let's go ahead and delete that and highlight our range here again. Let's go up to Insert. We're going to do a line chart, and I'll just pick a regular line without the different dots so that you can see how it is progressing day by day. Now, the formula I did is I did have to modify it pretty significantly, and you can download the worksheet on the blog and see how I created this formula. I modified the step formula chart that I created before. And so what that allows me to do is it does allow me to just go ahead and delete all of this. I could probably even delete B and C, and I should just be able to copy my formulas down, and it will automatically create my step function date ranges, and then anytime it goes beyond the data, it's just going to do not applicable. Then also created the data range that'll look up and see what column A is looking at, and then making sure it happened on that incident, and then it's using some formulas up above to create our summations or our calculations. So I should just be able to copy this over to my other columns, and then I should just be able to copy this down all the way. And so you can see it creates my step chart by finding the data using count ifs, and doing some summations. If it does equal certain values, it's going to sum the ranges that we have up above, and our step chart is created. So go ahead and download it out there on the website. Check out the step chart creator functions that I created, and see how we modified this one so that we can do cumulative with some count ifs. Once again, this is Steve Equals True from ExcelDashboardTemplates.com. Thanks for my subscribers who submitted some awesome Friday challenges. Please head on over to the blog so you can find other great posts like this, and also consider subscribing to my video channel so you're sure to get the next post delivered directly to your inbox. Thank you.